I'm Allendale's Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Surface map right now shows that we've got moisture slowly working its way across the Corn Belt over the western half right now. The farthest east we've seen this is kind of parking and setting up over central parts of Illinois. Right now, you've got to kind of look at this as falling in line with our thoughts in terms of coverage. Yes, there is good moisture kind of strung all the way through the profile of the country, but there's a lot of holes involved as well. So I think that's something that, when you get right down to it, is going to be a factor in how this is viewed nationally over the course of the next day and a half or so. We continue to see the low lifting to the north-northeast. Right now, the low is sitting over portions of southeastern South Dakota. I think it makes it into Minnesota here this afternoon. We'll see this line of action swinging all the way south through Missouri and into Arkansas. The more steady rain, the gentler, steadier rains develop along and north of I-80 in the upper Midwest and Great Lakes region. The key to coverage here this afternoon and tonight farther south is going to be just what kind of convection action develops. Are we seeing wide-ranging thunderstorms, a line of thunderstorms, hit and miss? My money's more on the hit-and-miss showers and thunderstorms as we go forward. Now, generally speaking, this system will be done across the Corn Belt probably by the time we get to the end of the day tomorrow. The weekend finishes on a nice note Sunday and Monday, although slightly cooler air will be in play. And then we gear up for a monster system next week. We've got a massive, massive low that comes out of Canada, hooks up with the remains of a tropical system in the Gulf of Mexico, and I think it's going to combine to create a very windy midweek situation and maybe a wet one as well, leaving our rainfall totals alone at 0.5 to 1.5 inches of rain. About 90% of the Corn Belt getting hit. Winds ahead and behind the system this coming week are going to be anywhere from 20 to 40 miles an hour and gusty. So on the backside, those winds are going to be out of the north, bringing in much, much cooler air. I still think that we can see a significant cool down as we finish out next week, Friday, Saturday, and I think it's going to be enough that probably it ends the growing season over most of the Corn Belt that hasn't seen that already. I'm stepping out on a bit of a limb there. Models are still arguing, but the European model is colder, has been on the colder kick for a while. At this point, I think we'll roll with it at least through the weekend and take another look at it on Monday. International weather, not really showing anything overly dramatic at this point. As a matter of fact, we're seeing some scattered rain shower action still holding on today and tomorrow in Russia, Russian grain areas, central region, southern region, Volga region. Not so much in Ukraine, but some moisture around. And this is going to put a nice exclamation point, nice finishing touch on a week of scattered moisture in that part of the world. Next week will be dry and cool. In Australia, much more rain coming into the forecast pattern as we go forward. As a matter of fact, the second half of next week could really bring down some excellent rains over the eastern third of Australia's wheat belt, New South Wales, Victoria, even into the western, or rather eastern part of South Australia. And we even see a few scattered showers in Western Australia. So is this a saving or something that we get real super excited about? No, but it is definitely moisture, so you need to watch that closely. And we've already talked about the fact that Brazil is going to be getting more timely rains, or at least scattered rains, over the course of the next week to week and a half. The 10-day period, to me, looks like there's going to be ample moisture to get planting really kicked off and going down there all across the central north area and, of course, still down in southern parts of Brazil. So no significant changes here. One thing you're going to want to pay attention to, of course, this hurricane that sits in the Pacific. Normally, most of the time, we could care less about Pacific hurricanes, and I was actually in this camp earlier this week as well. It's going to make landfall in Mexico. I didn't think much of it. You know, it's a strong storm, but this is not out of the ordinary. But I think we'll have to watch and see whether it loses any intensity at all as it moves inland. Right now, it is very strong. They're saying one of the strongest or the strongest on record. I don't like superlatives like that, but I'll grant you, it's an impressive-looking storm right now. Looks like it's headed towards central parts of the western Mexico coast. That's the way things are stacking up. If you got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.